Okay. Trying to be a little bit more organized here. I don't know if it's working or not. Let's see. Trying to get to a spot where I can see any questions in all the spots that they can be asked. And I also don't want to see my own face because it's too distracting. And then I look at that instead of you. Oh, hey, Nathan's here. I see you on YouTube. Awesome. I need to cover that one too. Real quick. My screen's not really big enough for me to see everything. So that kind of sucks. Oh, wait. I have this 2 different windows. It's weird because normally it shows how many people on one of these 3 platforms. It shows like, 1 person, 2 people, but it's not showing anyone is here, even though you're here, Nathan. Oh, well. One second here. Also, let me know if you can hear me. I'm assuming you can since you said hey. Okay. Okay, I see Julian's here as well. No worries about missing that last show. There'll be more. It was a fun show, but there'll definitely be more. Okay. Okay, good. You can hear me fine. I'm going to get going here and stop messing with this because my computer's like kind of wobbly tonight, which is probably annoying for you guys. But let me make sure I can see everything. Okay. Okay. So it's Friday night. I wish I could see how many people are on here because I would like to ask that you say where you're watching from. Although I've got, the 2 of you that I know that are here. Nathan lives in Portland and Julian lives somewhere nearby here in Texas, somewhere near San Antonio, near enough to come to shows regularly. If there's anybody else here watching, feel free to leave a comment. I'm considering upgrading and getting some sort of a different, like a paid sort of subscription live stream service so that it's not like this, so that it's not like all over the place and people can't watch it and comment at the same time if they're on mobile, and it's just kind of annoying. I don't really want to have to pay for that, but I suppose it would make the experience better for all of us. So maybe I should. I'm thinking about looking into it. So Julian lives in Converse, Texas, and we've got Jason here from LA. Awesome. I've got myself some tea that I'll be drinking during this episode. Because it's 11 o'clock here. Not super late, but I'm already cozy and hanging out on the couch. So I might as well drink some peppermint tea. Oh, YouTube says 9 or 10. Oh, Martha's here. Martha is also from Southern California. I don't see where it says that on YouTube. Oh, wait. It's because it's okay. It's because it's all the way on the other side of the screen that I'm hiding, so I don't have to see myself talking. Cool. Well, welcome. I hope everybody's having a good Friday night and getting ready for the weekend. Since there's a good number of people here, I do want to make one announcement. I don't know if you guys see the comments on the, what is it called? The community tab, I think, on Patreon, where you can post stuff and discuss whatever you want. The patron named William, who claimed the book, maybe you didn't even see that post either. A while back, I posted that I had 2 copies of one of my favorite books of all time, The Golden Compass, and I wanted to send it to a patron. So William was the first one to claim it and give me his address, and I just sent it off to him. He finished reading it and said that he wants to send it to someone else, to another patron, if there's somebody that wants it. So if there's anybody who is interested in a copy of one of my favorite books of all time, go to that community section and respond to his post, because it'd be kind of cool to pass it on. It's a trilogy. If you're not familiar with it, there's a movie. They made a movie of it, and it's really bad. So don't watch that. It's got Nicole Kidman in it, and I like her a lot, but and she's a great actress, but the movie is not good. So don't watch that as a reference. It's the first book in a trilogy about this. The main character is a girl who's, I think she ranges in age over the trilogy of like 11 or 12, 11 probably to 13, I would say. And it's so good. It's just, there's so many, it's geared, it was written as a young adult book, I guess, but it covers all of these really serious and heavy subjects like religion and creationism and death and what happens after you die, and just evil people. And I guess there's always bad guys and good guys in books, but it's super good. I highly recommend it. So yeah, that was my one announcement to make. I'm not sure if anybody has thought of any questions. Feel free to start typing them if you do. I got another message from Adrian. If you were at the last live stream last month, Adrian sent in some questions and kind of like filled in the time, which was awesome. And she sent some more that I will answer if you don't have any questions, or if we're not, if we're just kind of sitting around. Let's see. Jason asked, was it intended as the atheist response to Narnia? I don't know. I could see that, I guess. It is kind of along those lines, but just way better, I think. It just, I also love the way that Philip Pullman writes. His writing style is really cool and descriptive, and just, I don't know. There's just so much I love about it. And I heard recently that that BBC and HBO are doing a mini series of it to kind of reclaim it as a really great story instead of what they did to it in the feature film. And I'm really excited about that. But I don't think that should be a reason not to read the book, because who knows, it might be terrible. Some of the subjects, like, I don't know, I totally get. I mean, hopefully you guys haven't seen that movie, but there's a whole lot about, you can tell that that Philip Pullman, the author, is like really questions organized religion a lot, and specifically Catholicism. And there's a lot of, like, in the book, the high up, the heads of the religion are kind of the bad guys. So I could see how for a big Hollywood production like that, they might kind of tone it down, and make it so it's not so harsh, because it's pretty dark, and it's pretty kind of accusatory. Jason's asking about follow-up books. Yes, he wrote. He did write the pre-book. So I guess there's one prequel, and then there's supposed to be two more, I think, that are after the original trilogy, which is super awesome. I read the prequel, and it was also great. Not as good, because the main character is just an infant in this book, but it's still really cool to read, just to read more from that world. It's if you were to read the little, like, preview on the sleeve of it, you find out right away that it's set in a world that's like ours, but is not exactly ours, because the characters in the book have sort of a companion, an animal companion called a demon. That's part of their soul, I guess you could say, is a way to describe it, that they always have with them, which seems really awesome. When reading the book, I'm like, man, I kind of wish I had a demon. I wish I knew what mine was. In the second book, it does come into our world, and then they kind of collide. There's like sort of pathways between. It's like different planes of existence, basically. So it's kind of sci-fi-ish, and definitely fantasy, but I really recommend it. Good morning to, is that Jake? It looks like it says Jeanette, but I think that is Jake. Good morning from the UK. Hi. Wow, what time is it there? If you get a chance to respond to that, I would love to know. I'm going to sip some of my tea. It's 12 p.m. for me here in San Antonio. I'm so stoked that it seems like a lot of people have been able to come tonight, and that it was a good time for everybody. I was surprised when I did the poll and people voted. I was like, oh wow, I guess Friday night people are free. I just didn't. I had no idea what was going to be like the most popular time for a Friday. Let's see what else. 3:15. Wow, so it's nearly 3:15 in the UK. So good morning. Okay, wow. Sorry to keep you up so late or get you up so early on a Saturday morning. So I just wrote down a few things that I could mention to you guys. I've been working on some new songs, which is really exciting, because if you've been tuning into any live streams, or maybe you've noticed in some of my posts, I'm just kind of like trying to get into the writing mode. I know I have been supposed to have been writing for quite a while now, and it's been a real struggle. I don't know. I think everything, the move that I did from California to Texas, I know that was a while ago now, but it definitely affected me and my sense of being, I guess. But I think the bigger thing is just the fact that I'm writing, that my goal is, and my, my where I am now is that I'm just writing by myself. And I've never done that before. So it's been a struggle, but I am really like getting into it now, which is really exciting for me. And all the covers and the Patreon has really helped so much just to get better and better at using my computer and recording myself, and recording, setting up my own vocal booth and getting all that stuff done. Because always in the past, Jason was the one who would do that. Like, he had all the equipment to do that. And I knew a little bit about it, but I didn't really have to learn because he would do it all, and he knew how to run effects and all the kind of stuff. So, and before, in action design, Jake was the one who knew it the best. So, so it's been kind of this like progression of me not really having to learn any of that stuff. So now I am, and it's going well, and I'm pretty excited about it, and just wanted to share that with you guys. So Jake is up early to watch F1. I don't know what that is. And to watch the live stream. Thank you. Thank you for being here so early. I hope you're going to nap later, unless this is kind of normal for you. I do have a question for you guys. I'm going to be, so I just released the most recent cover, Nightwish, Everdream by Nightwish. And I'm about to start on the next cover. And I would like to toss it up to you. Of course, I will be covering both of the songs eventually. But for the next one, I'm kind of like up in the air, like, which of these two should I do next? So I'm going to see what you guys think. Should I do Led Zeppelin or Streetlight Manifesto? Two very, very different bands and different songs. I'm not going to tell you what songs, because that can be a surprise. But I know Nathan is the one who requested Led Zeppelin, right? So probably there's one vote for Led Zeppelin, at least. I'll let you guys think about that and put your responses down if you want. You don't have to. I also will be releasing the next Generic Asphalt song soon, for those of you who are Glockenspiels or higher, which I think is all of you, at least most of you, as far as I know off the top of my head. If you're at the $10 level or higher, I'm doing the editing and gonna film the video for the commentary on the next Generic Asphalt song, which is so there's only 6 songs, and this next song, track 2, is one of the most embarrassing ones lyrically. So that will be fun and embarrassing for me. But you guys can be entertained and laugh at it, hopefully. Yeah, it looks like we got 3 votes for, well, 2 votes for Led Zeppelin, not counting Nathan. Okay, and Martha says Led Zeppelin as well. I think I'll do Led Zeppelin next. So there you go. But Martha says, let it be Stairway to Heaven. I can tell you it's not Stairway to Heaven. I'm sorry. Sorry to disappoint, but it was Nathan's choice, so. Julian is asking, how far am I from your song being done? Well, I'm not necessarily doing them in order of receiving them. So it, you know, it seems like it might take forever and ever for your song, but it kind of depends on what song you pick. If I'm thinking of what song to do next, and your song kind of inspires me, then I might do it sooner rather than later. I don't really have a system for that. I probably should. But yeah, I mean, the covers are time consuming. And if you watched the last one or listened to the Everdream cover at all, it's like I can tell myself to try to do it quickly and simply and just like throw it together. But whenever I start really getting into it and I'm excited about it and I'm, really enjoying piecing something together and building it up or whatever I'm doing to the song, it's really hard to cut myself off and just be like, oh, this is simple and it's good enough. It's just like an easy thing. So it's taking a lot longer than I initially thought it would. Which is why I removed that from the tier rewards options. And I'll probably bring it back once I've got all the songs done. I will probably bring it back again because it is super fun and I'm really enjoying doing it. It's just taking so long, and I apologize for that. Yeah, you might have to wait a while, but you might not. There's no way of knowing. I don't know. That doesn't really answer your question, but I'm going to take a second to refresh this Patreon window because it's crazy that tonight everyone is in YouTube instead of Patreon. I guess maybe I'm usually saying, oh, there are 2 comments on here. I don't know why it used to automatically update for me and show people's comments as they came in, but I don't know. Well, so we have two people from the UK. Ben is here as well. That's awesome. So early. So for Jake, though, it's the morning, and for Ben, it's night. One person's up till 3, and one person's getting up at 3. Yeah, Julian, you can send me the what you want, the cover that you want anytime. If you know it already, you can send it. You can message it to me, and I will add it to my spreadsheet. I have a big spreadsheet that's got all of your, rewards that I'm supposed to be getting you and all that kind of stuff. So I will add it whenever you send it. Yeah, so next week, probably about a week from now, hopefully, if I've got the video done, I will be releasing that next Generic Asphalt song. It's entitled, in case you're wondering, in case you want to know in advance, since you're special because you are here at this live chat, it's called 3 Trolleys and a Jolt. And I'll be explaining that title in the video that accompanies. Chumpy Taco. That's a new name I haven't seen and person. Yeah, yeah, I will. I mean, we'll see how Patreon goes, if people are still into it and things are still happening on Patreon. By the time I finish all the covers, I most likely will bring it back because it's just fun and cool. And if you guys are still interested in it too, then why not? There's no reason not to. I'm glad you liked the Nightwish cover, Jake. Yeah, this will be interesting for people who watch it later on Patreon because they won't be able to see your comments. But I try to, read the question before answering it so that people who watch it later can understand what I'm answering. I think I am going to answer one of Adrian's questions, if I can get back to that page. Oh yeah, here it is. Adrian sent me 4 questions, but really wanted specifically this one question answered. So you guys can think, if you have any questions for me, you can think of them while I'm answering this one. She says, what is your clothes closet like? I'm pretty sure you're wearing a different top across all of the behind the scenes videos and most of the AMAs. So my closet is, I have a lot of t-shirts, I guess you could say. I recently did some clearing out. I did watch Tidying Up. I watched some of it, and I read Marie Kondo's book a while ago, like probably 2 years ago or something. I read her book and cleared out my closet at that point. But you know, her kind of coming back in the limelight and seeing her show, it reminded me I should really get rid of some clothes, because when I moved from California to Texas, my closet kind of went haywire because I got rid of a lot of winter clothes because I thought it would never be cold here. I don't know, that was really silly of me. So I'm really lacking in cold weather clothes. And I also was lacking in clothes for the middle of summer when it's super hot. So last summer, I went and bought all these, I don't know, sundresses, or like just summer, like hot summer dresses. But as I was wearing them, I was like, I don't like any of these. These are all not good for me. So yeah, I recently just went through my closet and cleared out a bunch of stuff. And I don't really know how to answer what it's like. I guess what my clothes closet is like. I feel like it's not very big. I've been accumulating rock outfits for a while, so I do have like a decent amount of those, but I can't wear those every day. And then mostly I just have t-shirts and jeans, and then all summer I'll be wearing like sundresses and sweating a lot because it's going to be really hot. I hope that answers your question. I'm going to see what's going on here. Martha is asking if I have any survival guide tees available for purchase. Funny you should ask. I have a mishmash of merch left from, I don't have anything new. I still have the one that has the girl with her hair getting pulled in 4 directions, or her hair's like kind of getting tangled by 4 directions. I still have some of that one. And so I kind of want to, I don't want to print anything new until I sell more of those, because I just have a bunch and I've had them for a while. So I was thinking 2 things. One, I am planning on kind of cataloging everything that I have currently for Patreon and for you guys specifically, and doing just a super cheap, like if anybody wants any of these shirts, just really, really cheap, like maybe even just the shipping, or like just slightly over the shipping cost. So I am going to do that. And then I just today was talking to someone about potentially doing a patrons only web store, where that's kind of like a one-off. Like the shirts wouldn't be free. It wouldn't be an actual wouldn't be an actual reward for the tier. I mean, I maybe could do that later, but I was thinking about doing just some designs that are specifically for you guys that you can purchase if you want. So you're right, I am busy with other projects, but that is in my mind. And the the catalog of what I currently have, I am working on that. That is actually one of my projects right now. So if there's a design that you don't have that you know exists, I probably have it for you, Martha. Let me see what else is happening here. Oh, yeah. So Julian works at Goodwill and is saying that people are donating. When people are donating at Goodwill, they keep asking if he's getting more donors because of that show. Well, I want to know also, are you getting more people donating because of the show? I would assume so. I would assume that the show, because it seems like it was really popular, like inspired a lot of people to probably go through their stuff and get rid of a lot of stuff and donate it. I like doing that just because somebody else can use it, you know. I've been a lot of the times I've been trying to get my rock outfits, or my ROs as we call them. I've been trying to get my ROs from thrift stores, because you just kind of never know what's going to be there. And if there is something cool there, it's something that nobody else has usually, you know. So I don't know. I like thrift stores a lot. Martha says, yes, that's tea. I'm not quite sure exactly what that means. Oh, yes, that tea. You want that tea. Okay. Well, hopefully I still have whatever size you need. You should just message me and let me know what size, because I will, when I do go through them, I'll see if I have it and I will make sure to save you one. I'm going to answer another question from, oh, Julian says about the same amount of people are donating, and actually less since Trump's tax law. Yeah, it's like you can't write anything, you can't write off your donations anymore, right? Which to me, I never, like, whenever I donate, I never usually get a write-off receipt, because an accountant told me that you're supposed to, if you do that, if you say like, oh yeah, this stuff I'm donating is worth $100, and then you get a receipt for $100 for taxes, then if you were ever audited, then you're supposed to produce the original receipts for all the stuff that you donated. So I've always just been like, it's fine. I just want to donate my stuff so it doesn't go in the trash and so someone else can use it. Okay. Oh, I was going to say, I'm going to answer another of Adrian's questions, but in the meantime, I have a question for you guys. I want to know, well, it's not that great of a question because some of you guys I already know, but I kind of just wanted to see what shows of mine you have been to in the past. Like, I know some of you have been to, Julian's been to Survival Guide shows. Martha, I've seen you at everything. Survival Guide and Action Design and Tsunami Bomb, I think. But yeah, I'm just curious to know, you know, if there's some of you who maybe have been to one of my shows, what show was it? Because I would love to just, like, you know, reminisce about the times that we have actually been together in person. Meanwhile, I'm going to answer Adrian's question. This first question is about coffee, about my coffee preferences. It says, what kind of coffee do you drink? fancy pants or specialty supermarket brand or blend? Do you take it black, creamer, sugar? Context: I'm drinking Folgers Instant because my coworker gave me a jumbo-sized can of it. It tastes like acid watered down by tears. Still, I can't bear to throw it away. So I love coffee. I wouldn't say I'm a coffee snob, but I'm like a mid-level coffee snob, I guess you could say. I don't think I could drink Folgers Instant. I could maybe if I just dumped like a ton of sugar and cream in it. But my coffee preference at home is a French press. I have a French press from Planetary Design, which is actually there's a lot of companies that do it now, but my husband and I have had the same French press for like 10 years. That's all metal, because we had the glass, like the glass one that sits inside the thing. We broke probably 3 of those washing them before we found this company that where it's all metal and it's insulated, because that's the other thing that sucks about a glass French press. So we use a French press, and the actual coffee beans I was buying when I lived in California. I was buying, and it was when I was going to practice at Jason's all the time in Sacramento. There's this one coffee shop called Temple, and their beans were so good. So good. If you're ever in Sacramento and you like coffee, you should definitely go to Temple for some coffee and some beans. But they were really expensive, the beans. Like I kept being like, oh, I'm in Sacramento again and we're low on coffee, so I'll just get some Temple beans. And they were, I think they range from like, I don't know, 15, like the cheapest bag would be $15 for a little like 12-ounce bag, 15 to probably 20 for a small bag. And it was so good, but after a while, it was just like, this is kind of ridiculous. This is a lot of money for coffee that we're making at home. So I went on a mission to find coffee that I liked at Trader Joe's. And I bought a few different kinds, went through a couple different canisters of it, and finally have settled. Actually, a while ago, I've been drinking this coffee for years now. It's the organic breakfast blend, I believe. And it's the only one that's organic that comes in a big thing. So this one it's like $15 for a big thing of whole beans. So we can grind them and make the coffee here at home, and it is delicious. I drink it black, and I don't always drink coffee black. If it's really strong, I will add cream to it, but at home I can always drink it black because it's never that strong. It's not like espresso strong. But I do also, like if I'm on the road, I have a hard time drinking like diner coffee or gas station coffee without putting a ton of sugar and stuff in it, which I don't really want. I want to be able to drink black coffee because I like it. So usually what I'll do if I'm touring or just traveling is I will get an Americano and just have them make it full of hot water. And it's basically like a very fresh, delicious black coffee. So that is my style. I think that answers all of those questions. Yeah. Yeah, man. I don't know about the Folgers. I would use it for baking, probably, is what I would do. Or maybe like for some coffee ice cream or something. Okay, now I'm going to see what questions are going on here. Oh, back to the donations and the tax write-off, because we have an expert here. Julian knows that he's an insider on this. He says, yeah, people take pictures of what they donate as proof, and they have to fill out their receipt cards, and you can only write off $500 max. That seems, I mean, I could see if I was donating like a car or something big where it was just the one thing. I don't know. I'm not a fan of paperwork or receipts, so I try to stay away. I just donate, let it go. That's my style. Okay, so let's talk about some shows. Jason says, oh yeah, Jason, you have been at some survival guide shows. And most of the action design shows as well. And the TV reunion show. That was a fun one. Martha, yeah, was there for Sinai Bomb, yeah. And the Vandals Christmas formal at the Grove in Anaheim. Oh yeah, I do remember that. I forgot that we played one of those. That was the only time I ever played that venue. So I'm glad you mentioned it. Yeah, your comment totally made sense. Nathan says that he always missed the Tsunami Bomb shows from being sick or work conflicts. First show was action design opening for Roxy Epoxy when we all got the swine flu. Yeah, that was a fun show, but I felt like I was dying. Yeah, and then you've been to all the Survival Guide shows up in Portland. I think you probably have, because I've only played through there a few times. Turn, 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 and I can't remember the name. There's so many venues and so many shows that I've played over the years. Oh yeah, the show with action design, Roxy Epoxy, and the start. That was a really fun tour. I can't remember where we played in LA. Knitting Factory? Or the Troubadour? No, I don't know. Maybe you can tell me, Jason. Martha says yes, but I'm not sure what to. Which was it, Knitting Factory? Is there anyone on here that's in New York right now? I'm assuming not, because maybe you would have said something. Okay, yeah, Knitting Factory. Oh, Jason says the Knitting Factory is not around anymore. That's sadly common for venues, although I feel like LA has pretty decent venue retention compared to a lot of places in the country. Because at least, I don't know, it seems to me like there's still at least a handful of venues that are around that have been around since I started playing down there like 15 years ago. Okay, well, if there's no other questions, I will do another one of Adrian's questions. This one says, for the Nightwish cover, you said you had 11 tracks for the song. How do you time all of the tracks so that they line up correctly? Do you have a really good sense of timing? The context is, I can barely clap in time, so this is all fascinating for me. So if you watched Adrian's referring to the behind the scenes video that I did, so hopefully you saw it, where I'm mentioning, oh no, it's not, it's in the comments. The video And then in the comments, I mentioned that because Adrian asked how many tracks it was, and I counted, and it was 11 tracks. So to answer the question, how do I time them all so they line up? So I am gonna have to do a video on it because it's the way that recording works is that you record something on one track and then you can go back and add a track and do your next thing. So it's not, so if you have basic rhythm, it's just like playing along to a song. It's just like playing, and there's a click track going. So that's keeping time for the first few tracks before you've got, if you don't have percussion yet, that really helps. And for vocals too, whenever there's a pause in the music or the drums, you need to know, you need to, so there's a little click track that goes, that doesn't play on the final, like you just take it out for when you finalize the whole song. I suppose I do have a good sense of timing because I'm a musician with basic musical skills. So yeah, I can keep basic time, but there is another facet of all of that too, because the way digital recording is so, I mean, it's very futuristic, just like you would imagine, to where if I record, if I'm, you may have seen my videos where I'm, on the drum pad and I'm kind of tapping out a rhythm with different sounds. I can, if I want to, and depending on the rhythm that I'm going for, I can take a piece of that and have it snap to a grid. So, because while you're recording digitally, there's these, what your tempo is, and the computer knows what your tempo is. So there's grid lines for where your beats should be if you're just, counting off fours. So, so I do have the option to sometimes snap things into place so they sound a lot cleaner. And sometimes I do use that because you can tell. I'll have to make a video about it because there's a lot to that. Maybe, I mean, that video might be too long. But yeah, sometimes I do. Sometimes if I listen back and I'm like, wow, that sounds kind of really sloppy, like the way the drums sound with the piano, or the way things sound together. If it sounds really sloppy, then I take a closer look at it and go, okay, yeah, the drums are pretty off. Because I'm not a drummer, like I'm just going like this. And it's very easy to be not, I think it actually would be pretty hard to be very accurate with your hands. So you'd have to be really, really good for that. So sometimes I do go clean it up, and sometimes I just leave it, depending on how it sounds. If it doesn't sound sloppy, then usually I leave it, because I'd rather it sound more real and more natural. But if it sounds like there's something wrong, then I go and clean it up digitally. And hopefully that answers that question. And I'm going to see now what's happening over in this chat. Let's see. And Nathan is talking about the Portland shows that I've played as survival guide. Slabtown. I don't even remember that. Slabtown. It's a problem. It's a problem, the amount of venues that exist, and the amount of shows that I've played. Turn, Turn, Turn. Yeah, I played there twice. And Ash Street, yes. My first show in Portland as survival guide. I thought that was Turn, Turn, Turn. You're going to have to give me more details on that. By the Crepe Place. No, I'm not remembering it. It's giving me too long of a pause. I'll look it up. Meredith was DJing. Yes. Okay, that I remember. Yes, because Jason was with me. Okay, yeah, that was a long time ago. I forgot. I forgot that Jason and I did that a little trip up to Portland and Seattle, and that was it. I think that was it. Yeah. Thank you for refreshing my memory. I'm glad to remember that now. That was fun. It was cool to have her DJing that night. Um, Jake has asked a question. What's my favorite cover that I've done over the years? That's a really hard question. Um, because I'm doing so many covers now. And I don't know if you have ever seen, or I don't know if you ever saw the post that I did on Facebook a while back. While I was on tour, I was thinking about how many covers I've done. Because every so often I'll just be, at the grocery store or whatever, and a song will come on. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I remember covering this song. I covered this song for, to sing, to do on a friend's record or like at a wedding or something, like all the different songs. And the list was really long on my Facebook post, and that was before I even started this Patreon. So I can add quite a few more covers to that list now. The first one that comes to mind, though, out of all the years and all the covers that I've done, the first one that comes to mind is the Misfits Hybrid Moments that we did in Action Design, because that was really fun. I love singing that song. And actually possibly have a patron request for that same song as Survival Guide, which I don't know how that will go, because I did it in Action Design, like as with a full band, but we'll see. I'm not sure. But that one was super fun. It's really fun to get to pretend to be Danzig. And as far as during Survival Guide era, I'd have to look at my list. Doing Cherry Bomb was super fun for Patreon. It's always fun when I get to do like a stylized kind of vocal that's not my style, which if you haven't heard that one, you should go back and listen to that one, Cherry Bomb, because it's so funny. And it's just really fun to do someone else's sound sometimes, instead of my own, like, as usually I'll have it sound like me, but sometimes I'm like, oh, I got to do this how they did it. And it's just fun that way. Yeah, I think that would be my pick for this era. Let's see, what else? There's one more question from Adrian. The question is, have you found anything neat to do in San Antonio that wouldn't appear in a travel guidebook like Lonely Planet or TripAdvisor? Are collages all that they are cracked up to be? Also, I'm going to refresh this other page to see if anyone is commenting here. Nope. Everyone's over on YouTube. Okay. So to answer Adrian's question, anything neat to do in San Antonio that wouldn't appear in a travel guidebook? One of my favorite things to do is eat. So I I mean, I've been to a variety of different places that probably wouldn't be in a travel guidebook that are awesome to eat. Uh, but other than that, there's still a lot of places for me to explore here. And yeah, I would say food places are mostly what I would recommend to somebody who doesn't want to do the regular tourist thing. And collages, I didn't even know what a collage was until I was on tour in Houston with Lungs and Limbs, and we stayed at someone's house who bought us collages for breakfast. And we were like, "What? What is that?" So I'm assuming most of you maybe don't know what they're. It's and I've found out more specifics about it since living here. There's collages are fruit. They're like it's like a Danish. It's like a Czechoslovakian version of a Danish, and they come in all different fruit flavors. And then there's also savory ones that are mistaken for collages, and they're just kind of lumped in with collages that are called klobasnek. And those are usually they'll have like ground meat and cheese, or they'll have it's more like a pig in a blanket type thing. So there'll be like a sausage it's basically just like a bread wrapped meat type thing. And as far as them being good, they are good. Of course, it depends on where you get them from, but there's a couple of spots between here and Dallas where there's a place called the Czech Stop, but it's spelled like CZECH. That has, I think they're open 24 hours, and they have just like a massive selection, and everything I've had from there is really awesome. So yeah, I recommend trying a collage. They're not, I wouldn't say they're necessarily extremely special, but they are good. I recommend. Jake is asking if I have been to the UK. Yes, I have. I have been there touring with Tsunami Bomb. We went there kind of a lot. I feel like we were probably there, I would say like 6 times, because we did a couple of specific, like UK specific tours. And then we did some that were UK and the mainland Europe. And we did some on our own, and we did some supporting bigger bands. So yeah, I totally want to go back. I never made it over there with the action design, but I would really love to go back to the UK to play some shows as survival guide. We'll see. I mean, I know I have a handful of fans there and people that would be at the shows. It's just a matter of logistics more than anything, like figuring out how to get. I'm brainstorming, like as I'm writing new material, I think I'm going to try to pare down my setup. I have kind of a lot of gear, I feel like, and it would be really nice to have a setup where I could actually take it overseas or somewhere that I need to fly to and not have to check, like 3 or 4 oversized luggage pieces and have it be really expensive and annoying and have to have a good sized crew with me to help carry all the stuff. I don't even know what I would do if I had all my gear in an airport and I was by myself, because you can't just leave your bags, you can't walk away. And especially if it's like big metal road cases that people would probably be scared, wondering what was inside. And then I'd be walking away to try and load my gear into what vehicle? I don't even know. I don't know. There's a lot of planning that goes into doing an overseas tour. Although I really would love to do it at some point, you know. We'll see. We'll see. I'm hoping to get there, but I might need to have something else introduced into my life, like someone, a manager or somebody to help me with it, or maybe a label over there or something. So yeah, we'll see. Any last minute questions? Because we are coming up on a 1 hour chat here. A challenge. How much of your gear can you get in my classic Fiat 500? I don't know how big a classic Fiat 500 is, but I'm assuming that it's pretty small. So yeah, probably not much. Do people recognize me at the market? Chumpy Taco is asking. No, not really. I sometimes get recognized at shows. If I go to, especially if I go to, a punk show here in San Antonio, that has happened to me multiple times now. Where I go to a show, I went to the Dolly Rots show, and I went to, I can't remember what the other one was, the other punk show I went to, where people did recognize me, which is cool. I never expect that to happen, so when it does, I'm just kind of blown away. Smaller than a mini. Smaller than a mini. I mean, I could get some gear in it, but probably not much. Probably half my gear would fit in a car that's smaller than a mini. I do fit my gear into a car now, but it has to, the seats have to fold down, and it's completely full. So yeah. It seems like that's that. And I'm not seeing any other questions. I'm going to refresh this page one more time just to make sure. Over here. Okay. And nothing new on the YouTube chat. So I suppose that's it for this Friday night. I'm going to be trying to do chats on or around the 15th of each month. So keep that in mind. I will probably be posting about the next one soon, trying to, confirm a date and a time on that one. So thank you so much to everybody who was able to make it. I really appreciate you coming here and being in the chat and asking questions, and Adrian's questions help out a lot, because otherwise I would just be sitting here having to come up with things to say. So I definitely appreciate it, and I appreciate you and your presence and your Patreon participation. Thank you guys so much, and have a great rest of your evening and a great weekend, and I will see you later. And after all that, now I have to find the page where I turn this off. Okay, thanks you guys. See you next time.